Dan here. I'm with Rafael one more time, CEO of No Limit Coin. How are you doing today, sir?
Good, Dan. Good morning to you. And it's quite a ride. I mean, everybody's asking me, "What do you think? What do you think?" I'm like, "About what?"
Yeah.
About the coin. I'm like, "Yeah, what about it?" And they're like, look at the price. I'm like, look, I've been telling you about the coin for a year and a half. I mean, I'm not really. I don't want to say that I'm surprised, because even though when you plan something and it happens, you're still saying, "Wow," right? But
Oh, yeah.
I mean, players want to go to the Super Bowl, but when they get there, they're like, "Wow," right?
Yeah.
So, um,
This is as expected, as we expected. So
it's exciting, but we really have to keep an even keel. I mean, it just doesn't really that much matter, price wise. I mean, it's nice to see the numbers and all that, but we're really laser focused on uh, on on getting the platforms ready, secure, robust enough to accommodate a lot of people. We just upgraded a bunch of servers last night, implemented a lot of securities, and like everything, right? You take a step forward, what happens?
Yep.
2 steps back, right? So then it's like, all right, I'm gonna increase my servers. People from China are there's a lot of, I believe that there's a lot of Chinese money starting to flow into No Limit Coin. We've been doing some trading. That's something that I've been doing, but now it really picked up, and everybody is getting excited. We've told some people there about it, and I think it has brought more critical mass. So I'm going to go down the list of everything that we've got. Official announcements, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And then we'll just kind of chat a little bit about things, kind of a conversation. But I'll go down the list of the things that are very important, and I've got some serious announcements going on here. All right.
Excellent. Cool. Let's go.
Yeah. Actually, I should, first of all, we had some issues with Yobit. They're resolved already, so that's good. We've got Nova Exchange volumes picking up there. And that's really what everybody wants to look at. Not so much price. Of course, we want price. Everybody wants price. But you know what? You're going to go crazy if you look at price. I mean, I'm sitting with some buddies, and 5 minutes after I'm sitting with them, I guess the market drops or something a little bit, and they're looking at me like, "Dude, you just cost me $5,000." And I'm like, "Hey, don't play that game with me, all right? Don't talk to me about prices." Because people say, "Hey, what happened to the coin?" And I'm like, "Great, huh? No, it just dropped. You just cost me a lot of money." I'm like, "Oh, no." So anyway, we've got Yobit, we've got Nova Exchange, and we're okay. So very important. We're already in csex.com, which is an exchange. We're there for voting. I just sent a quarter Bitcoin last night, and it gives you a clock, and it only picks one, so it's like a bidding war. So I'll take all the help I can get in terms of votes.
Okay.
And right at the end, I'm just going to throw everything at this thing, and we'll get in. So we'll get into that, and I've got, I really want to get into some Chinese exchanges, and we're doing our groundwork. There's a couple of them that are like $1 million to get in, so we're not going to get into that one or those, but we are going to get into others that have exposure into China. So that's very important. In terms of the payment processing, we're very, very close to finalizing the Visa MasterCard. The KYC has been the real challenge. Know your customer, because the credit card processors have tremendous amount of requirements. But once you clear KYC, then you get your certification letter, which we're getting. We're also getting our opinion letter from our New York attorney that basically certifies that all our fantasy games fall and fall properly under the laws that are within each state, and then he goes down to every state, and some states have regulations, and that's why we're not even going to operate in some states, and we're just going to operate the free version. And in some states we will operate great. So in terms of exchanges, we're finally moving. And of course, soccer, we're finalizing. August 12th is the launch. That means it's about a month and a few days, so everybody should get the registrations in.
Okay.
There used to be 10,000 NLC awarded last year. Now there's 100. But we know how that works.
Of course.
So what I wanted to also and I think the biggest impact, and I think it's a tremendous and huge impact to what's happening to us, is that everything has changed. It really has. I mean, even though we knew, okay, the coin, and we're gonna use it to play the game. We never really, you don't understand what it feels like until you're sitting in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now that we're actually sitting in it, we realize an amazing and tremendous thing. The pressure to be profitable through the game has completely been lifted off this. Before, you're doing your math, you got 10%, you're taking 10% rake from what everybody puts in. So if it's $100 contest, or as many no limit coin that there's going to be, we were taking 10% of that.
Uh-huh.
And then, but the fact that the coin is now becoming a vehicle for us, and we haven't really touched it, but eventually, it might be something down the line when, prices are a little even firmer, and not just firmer, but stay firm for a while.
Yeah.
That's the key. You could hit whatever price you want, but until it stays there for a while,
Yep.
it's not real.
Yep.
So when the pressure of profit margin is lifted off of the shoulders of anybody running a company, it gives you incredible freedom to compete. Because think about it. I mean, I couldn't figure out. I mean, what am I doing here against FanDuel and DraftKings? And everybody just thought, yeah, what are you doing here? But A and B is equaling C. I mean, fantasy plus no limit coin is equaling success. And now suddenly, when going back to what it feels like to be sitting in it, I realized that by not having that kind of pressure to produce on the profit side, because in essence we're just saying, you know what, I don't even care about the profit from inside the game. Let's just pummel the coin. Let's just provide an incredible amount of demand, and that's how the company is going to realize its gains. So by the final block that we've stored, we let that just appreciate with time. So what does that do? Well, it puts me in an incredible competitive position against DraftKings and FanDuel. I mean, we were going to go out with the same model they did, 10%, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know what, guys? We're not doing that anymore. And I'm not even going to say what percentage we're going to go out at, but we're going to crush the model, number one. So, because in essence, it's a whole different model for us. Now, that's the first announcement, that we're going to crush that 10%. Excuse me. We're going to crush that 10% rate fee model just to make a point. Not that we don't want to make 10% of NLC. Now we do. I before I'm like, yeah, 10% of it, but now we want to make that 10%. But this year, as a competitive message to competitors, we're going to go out with an extremely aggressive position in terms of rate. Now, there's another very important announcement, and we've never even touched it. It's something that's just sitting there waiting to be shared to the world, and that is a game that is called NFL Stat Challenge. I'm going to share the screen.
Okay.
And you're going to see what I'm talking about. So, share screens. Okay. Start. Can you see?
Yep.
Can you see the screen? All
That's
right.
good.
So this isn't, I love it because obviously it's kind of my baby here. Well, and what this is basically an extension of the traditional fantasy sports platform, meaning it's not really fantasy sports anymore. But what happens in fantasy sports is the dynamics of discussions between people regarding players becomes so heated. And I know more about this guy than you do, or about quarterbacks. My quarterback's better than yours, and there's always actions and side bets going on all the time. So what I said, you know what? Let's put something where people can vent that kind of their energy there.
Yeah.
So now you see a game here that essentially allows you to have head-to-head contest on 109 statistical categories.
Wow.
And it takes games that are Vegas betting games that would be absolutely illegal, but because we're doing them peer-to-peer, as you see this guy, and there's really no house in the boat. It's even better right now that I'm going to announce. So we figured, well, if it's a peer-to-peer game, it's legal. But we were still trying to sell these fantasy tokens, et cetera, et cetera. You can see the Visa, MasterCard. All this is going away. Everything is changed. This game is changing to No Limit Coin, number one.
Excellent.
Number two, there's going to be absolutely zero rate. It's going to be 100% free to the community. So you're going to be like, why? The why is because you're going to need No Limit Coin to play this. And the why is because everything, why is because we want you to go to the exchanges. That's why. So you can take games that are normally only in Vegas or casinos online and play them. And the reason you can do that is because there's no house here. We're not going to get in the middle of this, meaning we're not going to make a penny.
Okay.
So we're essentially donating this platform to the NLC community. So when you come here and you send 1,000 No Limit Coin and you play, there's never going to be even a single percentage fee. And you can see there's all kinds of so you bet as many, you could do quarterback, right? So look at all the statistical categories: passing attempts, completion, yards, how many touchdowns is my quarterback going to do against yours? You go there. So let's do, and we go week 1 to week 2. We're going to go Aaron Rodgers against Hoyer, and then you find your you find your opponent, and then you send your opponent. It's like, hey, let's go this week for 100 or something, and then you send the proposal.
Nice.
Yeah, he wants me to put the email, but anyway, so there's all kinds of ways where people can have direct action against each other, and now the platform's just going to manage your No Limit Coin, and there's going to be no house, no rake, nobody's going to make money at this, so therefore it's acceptable, because betting isn't illegal when it's face to face, when there's no the illegal part when there's a middleman, a casino, a bookie, whatever.
Yep.
So here's we're gonna have NFL over under. I mean, you could do over under contests just like you do in Vegas. There's no games right now, but you're over under, and then you can actually shop the market back and forth, because you send emails out, challenges, and then your opponent gets the email, decides if he's going to accept your challenge. And here's something I really like a lot. You can actually run a contest between any two teams in the NFL, specifically when they don't play against each other. So even if they don't play against each other, you can still pit them against each other, essentially by taking the amount of points that each one scores, and then when one wins, then the winner gets awarded. et
Oh,
cetera, et cetera.
wow.
So this whole game, over under, it's a Vegas game, but because it's head to head, I'm, hopefully I won't be, so so that's a huge deal because it goes back to what I was just mentioning, that the pressure on profit margin. I'm thinking, man, I spent $100,000 on this game that I haven't even talked about, on top of the few $100,000 on the fantasy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my investors' money, but it's been 3 years, and thank you, investor. He's listening. So basically, that's what this game is. It's something new. We're gonna start to push it out when things start happening. All right, so that's a big deal, and we're gonna expand this to other sports, so you can essentially go head to head on anything, and nobody can tell me anything because we're not making a percentage there. We're just holding our coin, and if the coin goes up, well, then wonderful. All right, so that's the. That was that announcement, and then going back to the fantasy game, the fact that we have the freedom now to become uber aggressive in terms of the way we're going to go at our competitors, that's a great thing. All right, and I did mention again, we're in C. We got to get into C6, so go to C6, vote. And then I'll top it off right at the end and make sure that we get in. And we're also looking at a couple of other exchanges with exposure into China. And I just wanted to quickly touch on points from the previous podcast where, and Dan, cut me off if I'm basicking too much about something.
Oh, this is great. So good. They want to hear you talk, not me. So.
No. I don't know about that. So here's something interesting. I put this up. We talked about. These are Bitcoin mines. This is absolute craziness. Look at the size of these things. And that's what it is. And then these are right next to dams where power is cheap, and that's what happened. Whoever invented, and we already know the story. Satoshi Nakamoto wrote the paper that others put into motion and became Bitcoin, but nobody ever expected this to be the situation, and that's why the others coins emerged, and that's why we merged ours with Peer Coin, so this wouldn't happen. Because all this is wasted power, but because Bitcoin is so valuable and it's millions of dollars, it can accommodate millions and millions of dollars every single day that are basically flushed down the. All this power just goes away, and you could run the Bitcoin network with 1% of the power that it has now without any trouble. So that's why we crossed it with Peer Coin. All right, so that's basically what I wanted to show you a little bit, and of course we're a Nova Exchange and Yobit. So in terms of the Mac wallet, in terms of the Mac wallet, it's like a day or two away.
Oh wow, perfect.
Yeah, we want to get that out there, and now that the coin's coming too, and even though we don't plan to, touch the market until it's way beyond the situation, unfortunately, we're, properly funded for a few months. So we don't look at it as we're going to get funded. We just see that it's reaching the point where it becomes a real vehicle for us to launch our products around the world. Soccer's coming August 12th.
Yeah, that's
and again,
huge.
I repeat that we're going to use, a few million coin that we have, that we specifically reserved to run through the game, to really, cause tremendous attraction or value. Everybody that understands crypto and not as excited about the coin is going to say, wait, that sounds like a good deal. I'm going to go play this thing even if I don't even know what I'm doing.
Exactly.
But once you're, we talked about it, right? Once you're playing for money, it's the easiest thing. And it's like crypto, when I try to explain crypto to people, I don't say a thing. I just say, please go open a wallet here, send me your address. What address? My home address? No, your wallet address. This long number? Yeah, it's that one. Okay, and then they get, I send them 5 no limit coin or 10. And as soon as it's like, what is this thing? Well, it's money. Look, it's with money. And boom, right? Everybody just understands it. It's like in 3 minutes, they're like, okay, so I got to send the money to Nova Exchange or Yobit, then I got to turn it into Bitcoin, then I send it to Coinbase, and then get money in my account. I said, yep, that's how you do it. Oh. And the guy never heard of Bitcoin, but as soon as it's like, I'm going to, so that's been happening. So, yes, it's going the direction that we want, but right now, we're absolutely focused with our development team, and I know a lot of people, they want to see the white paper, but we've got so much stuff flying at us that that I want to put that down, and I can't issue a white paper written by somebody that certainly didn't major in English, me. So I need somebody to make sure it's polished, and of course we're building out our staff. I'm getting an assistant that I'll be able to start helping, and of course we already have a big tech team, and everybody's been very, very strong, and there's all kind of yesterday, of course, like I said, 1 step forward, 2 step back. We went from a small server to a large server. I hopped 2 levels of servers for the wallets, and of course a simple 5-minute thing turned into a 2-hour, like, what's going on here, and we had to put the wallet on maintenance. So, but we got it, of course. So that makes me even feel even better when things, when you have a little problem, you put 5 people together on Skype, and then it gets resolved. So that's a very thing. We've got a strong team. We've had issues with 2FA getting stuck, and people contact us, and it's so the only part about the crypto world, that is one of the very disconcerting things, and I think everybody goes through that, is the amount of how hard it is for companies to respond. They've got these massive backlogs, and yes, we lived through that when the orders were coming in, but somehow, I don't know, but I just can't imagine leaving an unanswered email for days or weeks, which is the case with crypto exchanges, and it's very scary sometimes, and I understand that. So that's why we'll drop anything just to answer to people and say, look, I know you got a problem, we're on it, or here's the solution.
Yep.
So maybe when we're crushed and all that, I'll realize that, oh my God, that's I can't respond to 300 people. So. But anyway, so we've been trying to and it's actually an easy path to appreciation, because everywhere else everybody's so swamped or doesn't want to answer or whatever it is, or hiding behind their internet world where you can't talk to them and all of that. So the game's solid. We pushed the size of the servers up to the maximum, so we've got a massive machine now. In our server structures, we've got a redundant machine. We've got redundancy for the wallets. We put firewalls on everything. We put very tight security, but it never ends. Security never ever ends, because somebody's gonna get smart and then figure it out. I see a lot of people now staking. You see the networks, always beyond 50 nodes. So that's a very important number, because that's essentially what the big money is sniffing out. And if they start seeing that here's a coin that's got X amount of nodes and up, it's a chain that can't be stopped, right? That's what you want in a chain. Nobody can stop a chain that's a real chain. So when you're there, and we're there. We've got it's not 2 nodes, it's 50 or 75 or 100. So everything's moving forward. And it's a 7/24 situation. We're getting the game ready. We're getting the payment processing ready. We're gonna have the dollar platform and the crypto platform, and you can bet that on the dollar platform, we're going to be saying, hey, here's this world about crypto. This is what it is. Let me educate you, because most people still don't know about it. And we're going to bring them into the crypto world, even though we expect to do well just with the traditional market, you know, where people will put the credit card or PayPal, send in a few $100, and then we will charge, you know, the 10% on that platform. But, you know, we might just decide to be, you know, uber aggressive and say, you know what, we're just going to go after, you know, our competitors so aggressively that even in our dollar structure platforms, we're going to crush the DraftKings FanDuel percentage model and just say, hey, guys, I mean, you want to do fantasy sports, you're going to come here, and we're going to be at least half, okay? At least half.
I like that approach. I like that approach.
Oh, yeah, we're going for jugular, you know, for blood, whatever you want to call it, because it's the only way we're going to rip 1 million subscribers away from them.
Yep, you gotta take it. That's for sure.
So did you have any questions or comments, or do you want to kind of just, you know, reiterate or?
I'm just excited about the new platform you threw out there. Is going to be very awesome. It just shows another use for No Limit Coin. And that's the beautiful thing about it. People have to understand we have the No Limit platform, which is amazing. But once the coin starts spreading out to other things and people are using it outside of the platform, that's what's going to be amazing. There's also, you know, there's probably going to be some more big news next week. Not probably, there definitely will be, with some connections coming in outside of the platform that are interested in the coin, because obviously the coin, everyone's looking at it now because it's skyrocketing. You know, the people I was in contact with a month ago about it are now replying and interested and knocking on my door. So lots of exciting things happening. The head-to-head thing is amazing. I mean, basically you can sports bet, you know, no middleman, don't have to worry about the laws. I mean, I already know I'm going to be using that all the time. That's awesome. Right. Me and my, especially, all right, so let's say you have the Dallas Cowboys, my favorite team. They were in the playoffs last year. I'm not big into, I love fantasy sports, but I live in Mexico and I can't play the big ones, which obviously No Limit's going to be able to solve for me. But the big thing was that when they were in the playoffs, I wanted everything. I wanted a sports bet. I wanted to play fantasy. I wanted to be a part of the game as much as possible. And if we see like the community with soccer and cricket, all these people who it's like a religion to them, you can bet that they're going to be all on to fantasy sports, and especially with the NFL season, people are going to be all on this, sending their buddies emails. It's already set up and working, as people can see. I mean, it's just super excited about all the developments for sure.
Oh yeah, no, look, there's AJ Green, right? And then you're saying, oh, he's not going to do well, and I'm saying he's going to do very well. So then I'll select the over, and we'll do receptions, right? We could do receptions. Let's do receiving yards. So I say, all right, we're going to bet, 100 No Limit Coin, and I'm going to take the over on 100 yards. You're going to take the under. So it's like, you know what? We don't have to have a discussion like children about this. We can do it like adults, settle it like adults.
Perfect.
With a bet, right? But the incredible thing that I'm just saying wow to is that this, I'm like, look how I called it, fantasy tokens. It's not, coins. Because then people are going to say, wait a minute, you're running a betting platform. This is only allowed in Vegas. I'm going to say, wait a minute here. These are fantasy tokens that have no value. You can't cash them out, right? Fast forward to, No Limit Coin now and having the situation that we do with a market cap that now basically changes the whole focus and says, you know what, don't worry about making money through the games. Just pummel the coin with demand. I'm like, yep, that's right. So, you know what, No Limit Coin? This thing's yours, all yours. No percentage, no rate, nothing. And you've got all these, look, any NFL team versus any other NFL team. So, right, you go a specific week, one team against another, even though they don't play each other.
This is very clever. It's very clever. I don't think there's anything like this, regardless money, crypto, or anything. I've never seen something so in depth like this where you can do what you're doing. So this is very cool.
It you know what it comes from being in heated discussions about players that become an obsession weeks and weeks over time. And now you're hoping that your player does well or your opponent's player does badly, and it becomes a dynamic. Oh yeah, I backed this player in week 1, he better do well. So you're all over the map, seeing if you were a genius or a donkey.
Yeah.
And, so this is how you take it out. This is how you do it. It's like, you know what, gentlemen, stop the screaming, stop the this, stop the don't worry about throwing out the stats. Put your money where your mouth is.
Yep.
Boom, right here.
That's beautiful.
And Visa, MasterCard, goodbye. Fantasy tokens, goodbye. Now it's going to be no limit coin, and there's going to be no rake here. And look, NFL game with a line. But here, instead of the bookie or the casino making the line, it's basically the other side, you and me, right? So either you give me a line or I give you a line. Use point spread right here. So there's a point spread feature, but you get to negotiate. So we set the market. I go, hey, I'll take Chargers over Cowboys, and I want 5, and you're going to be like, no, I'll give you 3. So we'll be answering our emails back and forth, and that'll be the negotiation. And then you close the deal, and it locks the bet.
I know so many people that are going to use this. So many of my friends are going to want to use this.
It's hard to, because there's nothing new. And if you see my advertisements from before, it says 5 games you've never seen. 5 games you've never seen. And it came out from seeing the incredible dynamics that happen within fantasy groups. And when somebody gets, when you get into a discussion about a specific player, I mean, it could go on for weeks. It could crown somebody the genius of the group or the idiot of the group. I mean, all those things. So I mean, sometimes you're doing horribly, but you're thinking, well, at least I talk good about so and so player, and it came true. But all of this goes away when you've got this platform that you just send your friend. You say, you know what, I'm tired of your BS. Here's 100 NLC or 1,000 or whatever, or 10,000. Let's go. And you're like, you know what? Let's go. Boom. I mean, you want to go for $1 million? Go ahead. You want to have a $50,000 bet? You can do it. 0%, 0 rate. We don't want to make money. We won't make money there. Just need no limit coin. That's the key.
Well, I'm gonna be all on that. I'm gonna accept all challenges. So I got my game tight.
You know what? I'm glad you reminded me. Okay, the house. Well, I can't say the house. Okay, me. Meaning, I'll take challenges. So and I might take bad bets. So you might send me a horrible for my side 100 or 200 NLC weight. I'll take up to 500. Up to 500.
I'm betting NLC. Ralph. I'm betting you.
Almost any bet, but I see. That's what made me do this. When people started basically insinuating that I would never be able to understand fantasy because, I was kind of a nerdy thing and all of that. And I said, hey, and it just, the pressure of, all that pressure through like 10 years. I mean, I was last for like 7 years, and then I won a first place. And then, now I got respect, right? Because I won. It's really bad, So this tool is going to let you vent that frustration, because when somebody's just all over you about some stupid trade you did, or they think it's stupid, it's just you hate him for it. So you know what? Forget about that. Here, let's go. 10,000 coin. I mean, how much is 10,000? I can't even. I can't do the math anymore. I don't even look. I mean, I don't look. I'm not tracking it because it just. I just know where we need to go with everything. We need, 100,000 subscribers and then 1 million. That's it. What else were we talking about, Dan?
We're just talking about the future and all this good stuff. But Yeah, just super excited about the about challenges. We're accepting all people's duels, which I will do. So anybody that wants to challenge me on this platform, I will accept. I'll have my email, so I'll be ready.
And then we're gonna set up a special link that we're gonna set up a special landing page for Dan's group. We're gonna reward Dan's group with with special goodies, NLC through the game, and we're gonna actually provide a referral link to where if you refer somebody, there's a small piece that gets kicked your way from all of the gaming your invitee does.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, it's gonna make soccer interesting for people that aren't interested in it. And then suddenly you're gonna be channel surfing, and then there's a soccer game. You'll be like, oh, there's one of my players. You'll turn on your fantasy sports, and you'll be like, oh, I just got a point. I'm in first place. I'm gonna make a lot of money. And I'm repeating. I want to stampede. So how do we do it? We're going to blow up a lot of NLC, but we also want people to bring their Bitcoin, and that's how we're going to reward the buyers when they bring money, Bitcoin, also no Bitcoin, but we want you to buy it. And of course, if you have NLC already, you bring it into the game, no cost, you play it.
Excellent. Cool. Yeah, I think this about wraps it up. If you have any final thoughts.
I just want to reiterate that I've been doing crypto trading for months, and I picked up a lot recently, so we're doing pretty big moves also. But the interesting aspect of that is that, of course, I start talking about NLC with people that are buying huge numbers of Bitcoin, and it's very interesting, and I really think that people in China are starting to get very interested in the coin, and because I noticed too, there was as soon as the morning in China started and everything, the volume just exploded, and then as 5-6 p.m. came along in China, everything hit. So I'm like, interesting. Okay. So I don't want to read too much into it, but it seems like the word is spreading to other countries, and I know China is a very big fan of soccer, so we're going to be wide open for people in China to play fantasy sports soccer. So you want
yeah, this coin's about to be stretched all different ways.
Stretched is the right word.
I was telling people there's probably gonna in the future I envision like 0.1 no limit coin buy-ins because it's gonna be so valuable that we're gonna have to fractionize it. I definitely see it.
It's I don't even like comment. I mean, I get texts from my friends. Hey, what do you think? I'm like, I don't think anything. I need to get the fantasy sports. Yep. We need to get the right way, because we need to take over the fantasy market. Not a little bit of it, all of it.
All of it.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, hey man, it's been fucking awesome. We'd definitely set up a time next week if you're down and keep this going. People love it.
Yeah, no, I know I gotta get a bunch of stuff out there. I gotta get that white paper, and we're just gonna take all these ideas, put them in a nice document, and then have them, like an editor help me out, just polish it up, boom, release it. So white paper people, I'm definitely on board saying it's a very important thing. iPhone wallet, it's already moving.
Excellent.
Like I said, Mac wallet, Yovis, Resolve, but keep but I always say keep your money in your local Windows wallet if you can. You get paid a staking percentage. It helps the network. It's safer. Anything on the cloud always has a risk. Make sure that you implement 2FA, two-factor authentication. And that's it. Just keep telling people about the platform. Join us for fantasy when fantasy starts on August 12th. Everybody, just crowd in, build your teams, get involved. Let's make these I think we're gonna have 1,000-team contests this year, easily, because last year it was just internal people that we knew. We didn't really do advertising. and there was I think a 500 team contest that we reached. So we're going to reach thousands of teams, and NLC is going to be, you know, huge prizes. Now that we know, you know, I mean, little did anybody know, you know, last year that we were playing for hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, I would have played more. You know, I skipped a lot of weeks because I was just tired and all that. But believe me, if I would have known like what was going to happen, I would have played more. I mean, but that's fine. That's fine. I'm out there buying too. Believe me. I don't know. I've got this thing where
I got my lures set. Definitely. If I'm ready to get them at good prices for sure.
All right, that's great, Dan. Thank you very much for the coverage that you've given us, the communication. You know, sometimes when there's issues, a lot of things come through you. I'm able to communicate through you, and eventually, you know, the whole team, you know, the developers, and you know, we're all kind of know each other, and you know, essentially, it's the foundation. So. So yeah, I mean, we have to crowd in. I see people coming in. I get their emails. You know, once I know you've got, you know, coin, I feel, you know, you're a partner, you're family, and I get these very nice emails. They're very energizing. I mean, you know, it's been 20 years of, you know, you don't, you know, you always, you know, even when you're 99% right in business, your business, you know, you might not make it. And, you know, I like to think I was 99% right in my previous ventures that didn't quite make it, right? My wife, you know, likes to say more like 50. I was almost there. But you know what? Right now, those 20 years, I mean, worth it.
Definitely, right? Here it is.
So, yeah, this is it. This is what we're all, you know, this is the ride that we've all been waiting for. And you know, we're in it. We're throwing every single thing we've got at this. You know, all the resources that we were able to get. And you know, I told my investor, I said, sir, I got money in the bank now. I'm not gonna. I don't want to sell anymore. I don't want to sell coins, so I'm gonna ask you to back me a few more months. He says, Rafael, what do you need? I told him, you know what? I need this much. He says, you got it tomorrow. It's beautiful. All right. So he's coming in, you know, even though I've got money in the bank, he's saying, here, boom. So this thing's happening. This thing's happening, and it's exciting, and whatever the coin does, you know, that's kind of, I have no control over that. So, you know, I'm just worried, you know, because on the way up, I get all the flowers, but then, you know, if it goes down a little, you know, everybody's gonna be like, hey, Rafael, it cost me $5,000. Yeah. So, you know, he's got 90 grand from a $1,000 investment. But you know, I've got little stories, but this has gone a little bit. You know, I don't want to bore people, but you know, excellent stories like you know, a lady that signed on to the game, and we were giving, you know, 0.001 or is it 0.005 Bitcoin. You know, last year I said, well, I want to show off how, you know, our game could do multiple currencies, and, you know, Bitcoin's so famous, so let's give, you know, a tiny little piece. So when she logged in, and, you know, she got no limit coin, some free no limit coin, 100 now, and then she goes, I want to call this to your attention, but I found some Bitcoin in my wallet. I'm like, what? And then she goes, yeah, I found 0.001. I would say, oh yeah, dear, don't worry about it. You know. And we're not gonna have any more Bitcoin contests or Ethereum or anything. Boom. It's gonna be a no limit coin only platform. And of course, you're gonna have to bring Bitcoin to buy more no limit coin. And if you want to buy no limit coin, you can come buy it through the game, play, and that's how you're going to be able to get it through the game. So
brilliant.
All right.
Well, hey, it's been good. I'll talk to you soon. Take care, Rafael.
Thanks a lot, and let's keep it rolling.
Always.
Thank you, buddy.
Peace.
Bye.